Hello, everyone. So, recently in Siege, there has been an uprising in shield players, especially Monty. And I'm one of them, except I play Blitz the most, although I have played Fuse and I've played Monty. And even Fuse, with like no special ability on the shield, is still pretty good if you know how to play him. So, I thought it'd be interesting to make a tier list on how well each defender can actually deal with shields. And I know there's defenders with certain guns or impact grenades or C4, but I'm not really going to count that. So all those I'm just going to put in no value, even though they have, like secondary gadgets or good guns that are good against shields. Like Tachanka, for example, has a really nice LMG for shields because it has like a huge mag and everything like that. So enough yapping. Let's get into that. So Sentry. Not really. With the impacts and the nitro cells, yes, but I'm not counting those. Alibi, really no value either. So Rooney, she kind of has value with the gates, but I wouldn't say it's a direct counter. So I'm also gonna have to put a zombie there, bandit, castle. Cav has some value because she can kind of sneak up on them, especially because shields are loud. It'd be a little harder to hear them. Clash is pretty good except against Monty because when Monty is full extended, so I'll put Clash in A. But when Monty's full extended, uh, his shield doesn't really like throw back at all if you stun him by any means. So whether you melee it, you shoot him with a yokai, even an Elamine, it doesn't really knock him back too much. Like his shield just kind of moves a little, but it doesn't really fly back like Blitz or Fuse would. So she's pretty good at even slowing Monty down, but against Blitz or Fuse, she's really good because after just like a second of zapping them, their shield just flies back, and if anyone's with her, then they can pretty easily kill them. So I'll put her in A. Um, Although she's pretty bad against Monty because Monty has pocket EMPs too. So yeah, she's good. She's not the best. Doc, really no value. Echo. So alone, Echo really can't do much, but with a teammate, he's great. Again, not really against Monty. Sort of, he can stop a melee or something, but not too great. However, against Fuse and Blitz, again, he can hit them. Their shield flies back, and if anyone's there, they can shoot them. So I'll also put him in A. Ella, she kind of does what Clash and Echo do, just not as well. So I'll put her in B. Fenrir, Fenrir is actually kind of weak against shields because they can go in there and they don't really have to worry about getting shot depending on the room. And they can let their team find the dread mine. But he can help a little bit in terms of like disorienting them. He can try to maneuver around them again depending on the room. If it's like a long hallway, it's not going to do much. So I'll put him in C. Frost is actually really good. I'm gonna put her in S, and this is because playing as a shield, I don't know how much of your screen, say about half overall is blocked from like the bottom. Yeah, like part of the top is blocked. That doesn't really matter. You can't really see directly in front of you, like below you. So it's really easy to like run into frost mats because you just can't see them. The shield's blocking it. I've done it several times. I've seen people do it several times, especially whenever you're rushing as a shield. So she's a great counter. Goyo, the fire can be very good against shields, especially because they like to put themselves in front and they think they're safe, but maybe they don't see the canister. So I'll put them in A. Jaeger really doesn't do much. Neither does Kaid. Capcan is pretty good because he has a similar effect with Frost. If you put it low, people tend to not see it, except they do tend to check doors, especially if they know there's a Capcan, so he's not as good, and it's a little easier to see them anyways as a shield. Legion is great. He's S tier. He's one of the best counters to Monty because if you step in it, first of all, you can't really see it again with a shield. It's like more hidden. But it impacts all shields, but it actually makes Monty have to unfull extend and then like hide or turn around or something like that. So it's pretty good. Maestro, he's not that good because even if he hits the shield with his evil eye, it doesn't really do that much. But he can get them like in specific spots from like behind or if they're not looking, or during like a Monty shield plant, especially on like border. Yeah, he can hit them whenever they're smoke planting. Melusi, she has some impact. She slows them down a little bit, which is always great for shields. And then also she can sometimes force them to ADS, which is of course great because it gives you a chance to shoot them in the head. Mira, she doesn't really have too much value because as a shield, you can kind of just walk up to it and melee it, and she can't really do too much. Mozzie has no value. He needs a buff or a rework or something. Mute, so he's not really good against Fuse or Monty, but he can block a flash from Blitz. So I'll put him in C. Yeah, he kind of just turns Blitz into Fuse, except faster. And it's only in the duration, or not the duration, but the radius of his Mute Jammer. So he has some impact on Blitz and Blitz only, and it's not that strong. So he's a C. Oryx, Oryx is probably only good for shields, so I'll put him in S. And by the way, I'm not like ordering these in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Oryx is pretty good. He can counter all the shields, especially Monty if he's full extended. It's about the only thing he's good for. Pulse. Pulse has some value, especially with the C4, but again, I'm not really counting C4. So I'll put him in C. Being able to see them through walls and stuff, you can get behind them. Rook has like no effect. Smoke is pretty good. I'll put him in A. A similar situation to Goyo, he can kind of just get them in a position where they can't maneuver out of the smoke. So yeah, he's pretty good. Solus is pretty useless in every situation. Not really, but she's not that great. However, she does have some use because she can see Blitz. Tachanka, he has some use against shields, so I'll put him in B. Kind of like Goyo, except it's a little more portable, and sometimes shields can't really get out of it because they like to put themselves in situations where they can like push forward. But you can punish it with Tachanka, Goyo, Smoke. So yeah, he's kind of just Goyo and Smoke in terms of what they do, but a little worse. Thorn, I'll put her in C because sometimes they do, again, put themselves in places where they can't really back out easily, and the Thorn can get them sometimes. However, it's pretty easy to deal with it. You just turn around. I think the shield can block some of the damage. So yeah, Thunderbird honestly helps them. It can heal them. Valkyrie doesn't really do much directly, nor does Vigil. Womai doesn't really do anything. Now Warden, he doesn't do anything against Fuse or Monty, but he can use his glasses to block the Blitz Flash, which again just kind of turns Blitz into Fuse just faster. So I'll put him in C because he is pretty good at dealing with Blitz. It can make it so you can just melee the shield if you're able to do that. So yeah, Warden's okay. He's pretty good against Blitz, but that's about it. Scopos, she doesn't really do too much. I guess she kind of counts as her own shield, and yes, you can get a good flank on them. So I'll put her C, but I kind of want to put her in no value. And then Tuberal, a similar kind of situation to Mute. He can block the Blitz Flash, but that's kind of it. And also, if you throw C4 into the little ice field that his canister makes, you can't detonate it. I've seen a lot of Tuberals try to do that. It just doesn't work out for them. And for Monty and Fuse and Blitz, but you know, apart from the Flash, he does slow them down. So I'll put him in B. He doesn't really do too much, and he only has 3 of the canisters, I believe. So it's not that great, but it's better than nothing. And being able to slow them down can help a lot, in addition to blocking the Fuse Flash. But anyways, that is my tier list for Defender's capabilities of countering shields. So yeah, I hope this is at least semi-useful. I really just did this for fun. I've played a lot of Shield, so I've seen firsthand what works and what doesn't work. I've died a lot of painful deaths. I've also made a lot of good plays. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.